I'm in the McLaren 570S and I don't know really what I expected. I knew it would be fast because on paper it looks really fast. The performance figures are absolutely nutty, and in pictures and stuff it looks the bomb. And now I'm actually driving it. I cannot put into words how rapid this car feels. So what is McLaren 570S? Well, as you may or may not know already, McLaren is a fairly new company for road cars. Apart from the McLaren F1, they've only been doing it for 5 years or so. They made and have now stopped making the McLaren P1. That was their top of the range. They call it their Ultimate series. That was the fastest thing that they've made, and it was a hybrid and it was £1 million. Then below the P1 you've got the 675LT, which has now sold out. That was the long tail, 675 PS, so 670 horsepower roughly, and the 650S. So again, all these numbers mean PS. So 650 PS in horsepower is about 640, something like that. Those are the super sport cars. So they sit below the Ultimate P1. Now they've introduced a range of slightly less expensive, no, I say less expensive and not cheap, slightly less expensive cars that are, they call their sports series. So you've got this, the 570S, you've got the 570 GT, and you've got the 540C. And all of them are kind of variations on a theme. They always use the same carbon fibre tub. They've all got basically a very, very similar 3.8 litre V8 engine, but they just vary them accordingly to whether they're a cruiser, a GT car for example, or whether it's the more sporty one like this. So this is the 570S. It has, as you can probably imagine, 570 PS, so 560 horsepower, and 443 foot-pounds of torque. The performance is ballistic and really quite nutty on the road. So 0 to 62 miles an hour is 3.2 seconds. 0 to 124 miles an hour is just over 9 seconds. And the top speed is 204 miles an hour. I can tell you now, it is every bit as fast as those numbers suggest. It is ballistic. We're driving on slightly damp roads as well, and it's not intimidating. I got in it and expected to be completely intimidated and to think that it would feel completely alien. And granted, things in here are very unfamiliar to me, but the car itself, you get in it, you can put it in automatic, and you can just cruise around. It's not a scary car to drive at all. It's only when you put your foot down that you start to feel like, oh wow, okay, I could really get into some serious trouble if I really kept my foot in it for any longer than a few seconds. So the engine, 560 horsepower roughly. You might be able to hear, it makes rather a good noise. It sounds quite distinct from the 650S or the P1. It's got a very different exhaust noise to it. I'll just give you a little bit of noise. It's so effortless in its performance. All you have to do is put your foot down, like in any car, but it doesn't let up. The acceleration does not let up. In fast cars, there's a point when you'll start to feel it slow up. And granted, this will have a point like that, but it's not a speed you will ever encounter on the road unless you're utterly mad. The suspension is really quite smooth actually. It's bitty. You're getting the details through, but it's not a hard pounding ride as you might be expecting from something that's a two-door supercar with the doors open up like that. The steering is electric, and right from the point when you even start to move the wheel, there's information coming back there to you. I can't believe that it's an electric rack. I mean, you can feel it in some cases, but there's so much stuff coming back to you about the road surface, about what the tyres are doing. And it's really nicely weighted as well. It's quite light at low speeds. Perhaps if you're in a car park, you're turning around or something like that, as we've had to do quite a few times for film, then it's really, really light. But when you're on the move, you can place the car really, really easily. And the gearbox. The gearbox is a 7-speed dual clutch gearbox, and it is absolutely rapid. The changes are instantaneous. They are so quick. And what I really like as well is little touches like the paddles here. They're one piece, so they connect centrally behind the steering wheel. So you can press the up paddle to get a downshift. Not that you necessarily would, but it's really nice to know even the details like the paddles, which a lot of manufacturers will just go, it's just a paddle. They've really gone some effort with it and engineered it. As for the looks, I think this is one of the prettiest sports cars, supercars, whatever you want to call it, on sale. It's really, really nice looking. The back, I'm perhaps less keen on, but the front, it's a really stunning car.